All right, time for the 2015 fantasy outlook for the Miami Dolphins. Okay, so at the quarterback, I really like Ryan Tannehill this year. I really like him as a fantasy starter. I think he can be a top 10 quarterback this year. Due to the fact that he's gained some weapons at the wide receiver position, and the fact that he made strides in the end of the year, and he's a running quarterback, he does get some running yards. People are sleeping on those running yards that he receives. So I really like Ryan Tannehill this season at quarterback. Now, as for the running backs, Lamar Miller's was the guy last year after Noshawn Marino hurt himself. So Lamar Miller became the guy, but they also drafted a running back in the draft, Jay Ajayi. And I might be saying his last name wrong, but the fact that Jay Ajayi is there, this could have the potential to be a two-headed monster situation. And I don't like where Lamar Miller is going right now in drafts. I would probably take him a little lower, and I would definitely try to get Jay Ajayi if you do take him, because I think this might be a situation where it could be a two-headed monster, or Jay Ajayi might take the job from Lamar Miller. At the wide receiver position, Jarvis Landry is still there coming into his second year. I recommend drafting him in the middle to late, well, not in the late rounds, but in the middle rounds. They picked up Kenny Stills. He's been getting drafted much later in the late rounds. They picked up Greg Jennings. He hasn't been drafted at all. They drafted Devontae Parker, but he had an injury coming into the situation, so he's been getting drafted like in the final round as like a little flyer type of pickup. He has the potential to be really good because he could potentially win that second wide receiver job alongside Jarvis Landry, who's going to probably be the one. So definitely Landry. Draft him in like the 5th, 6th rounds if he's there. 7th round, middle rounds. But everybody else, you're going to be taking flyers on. Kenny Stills has potential, but I'm not confident in his skill set with regards to that coming into the new team from the Saints. It's not going to be the same high-powered offense, which is why I like Ryan Tannehill so much. He's going to have a lot more weapons to throw the ball to. And I haven't gotten a tight end. They picked up Jordan Cameron from the Browns as well. So they also have a good tight end. If he stays healthy, of course. But nevertheless, there's a good tight end there now. So if Jordan Cameron pans out, Ryan Tannehill's got weapons galore, which is, once again, goes back to my point of drafting Ryan Tannehill. He's not really getting drafted in some leagues. He's typically like the 13th or the 14th quarterback taken in some of the leagues that I've seen. So I'm a big Ryan Tannehill guy. I would recommend getting him later. I mean, because he'll be there while everybody else is getting Rodgers and Breeze and Peyton and Russell and etc. and Luck. You could probably grab Tannehill later in the rounds. It won't be throwing numbers like those guys, but he'll be close enough, and then you can build your draft elsewhere. As for the defense is going to be better. They might arguably have one of the best, if not the best defensive line in the NFL. I think the only one that can compete with that defensive line is probably the Bills. So I would definitely recommend, if you can get the Dolphins defense, that'll be a pretty decent defense for you that you could probably draft, that you could probably play week to week in fantasy. No need to be doing rotations. This is the type of defense that you could draft for week to week basis. You can follow me on Twitter at ChampD1012. Thank you. I'm out.